What's up, everybody? This is Ominous for Responsible Gaming and episode 162 of Ominous Design, called No Favoritism. Because, and it's a common theme of Ominous Designs, titles are hard. Titles are very hard, and when you made 162 of them, let me tell you, titles are hard. So, somebody's pinging me, but don't you worry. Today we're going to do an episode with the designs from my vault. It's been a little while I wasn't here because I did my previous episode about a week in advance, almost. So it's been almost 2 weeks that I haven't streamed. Should be easy, you never forget. So, Vault designs, Vault, no favoritism. Those are a couple creatures with pretty simple mechanic, which makes me happy. And we're gonna start with, do we have, don't matter, doesn't matter, don't matter. So, it says, when whatever enters the battlefield, choose one. I gotta say, there aren't actually that many cards doing enter the battlefield, choose one, and kind of makes me happy to make more. And I'm gonna try and remember how you do how is it called, model annotation within MSC. I think I can that is not an M. How about ship? I thought it was easier. Do I have a model somewhere? I haven't made a model this year. Very quick. I'm gonna check my previous year very quickly because I think I'm gonna find one. There you go. I'm not sure. This was the actual correct way of doing it, but it looks correct. I mean, it appears correct in the end, so I'm not gonna sweat it. Let me just answer to my message, that way I won't be distracted for the whole thing. It's gonna be very fast. Okay. So we have a model here, and it's a very simple card. The card says, when enters the battlefield, choose one. Each player loses, I'm going to start with 3 life. Each player gains 3 life. So I think that's cool. What's gonna make it extra cool is, I think what I want is for it to be a 3/3 for 3. And what can I say? This is clean, you know. I think it's an uncommon power. I think it's pretty darn powerful, but since it's 2 color 3/3 for 3, I think we can get that little extra oomph. I think basically what makes it very powerful is you can have a 3/3 for 3 and make somebody lose 3 life, and I think that's very good. That being said, if you want to play on curve where 3/3 for 3 is very good, losing 3 life is not as aggressive as it could be. But who knows? Maybe Orzhov has an aggro deck, and it's already sweet to hit your opponent for 3 when you start playing on curve. So I think it's very good. The gain 3 life is most likely not as important, though. If you do need to gain some life, having a 3/3 body and 3 life is, you know, it's fine. It's something. It's not nothing. So I quite like it. Provided that I think this is okay. even though I do think it's powerful, there's nothing much to say about it. I think it's elegant and I really like it. So I think we can move on. I think this one is what it needs to be. And I do not have extra comments on the matter, except as per usual, I'll figure out the flavor offline. Moving on. I do have a second design because it is. I tried to find something that could be as elegant as possible, I guess, because this mechanic is obviously something that really cares about the aesthetic, the symmetry, the simplicity, etc., and so on. So look at this. Each player know where I'm going with that? I mean, isn't it perfect? Boom. I think so. We have draw this card here. So draw this card, I do believe, is going to be more of a blue-black. That seems logical to me. So I don't really want to do a 3-3 for 3. So this one is a little tricky. I am thinking you do a 2/2 flyer. And this might just be right where it needs to be as well. 2/2 flyer with either both draw a card or both discard a card. What can I say? I like it. If you manage to catch your opponent with a card in hand and you don't have one, or your opponent with, or you have a hope that they have a good card in hand and you have a land to discard, this can make a very nice half a mind rot-ish on a 2/2 flyer for free. Because 2/2 flyer for 3 is just, fine. It's not great in 2 colors, obviously, but if you can pretend that you didn't have to, work too hard on getting your 2 colors, you get your 2/2 flyer for 3, and you're getting quote-unquote half a mind rot, or you're getting each player draws a card, which is actually apparently free on cards. I'm going to show you a card here. Actually, I don't remember much about the. Name of the card. I think it's a. Is it a Kaladesh or a Zendikar? I don't even know that. Wait a second. It's a Zendikar and. Wait, there's nothing recent. That's the old Zendikar. That's Conspiracy. Oh, really? I saw that in Conspiracy, huh? Really? Can't believe it. Conspiracy. No. Dual deck. Zendikar. Wow. Okay. I thought I saw that. Maybe there's another card that does something similar. Or maybe it's called something else. Well, actually, I just typed the text. Each player draws a card. And, well, okay, well, whatever. This actually still is an uncommon. So when I say it's free, I mean you have a colorless 2/2 for 2 that has it. So it cannot be that much of an upside. But it still makes the card an uncommon, and I get that too because you don't make player draw a card. Well, I guess you do, but you don't really make them draw a card on an on-curve colorless creature at common. That sounds unreasonable. And as I say that, I remember. I'm pretty sure the little doggy dog from Kaladesh is an uncommon, right? That little puppy is the sweetest thing. Why do I forget all the cards? So draw card, gain life, CMC 3, format, actually expansion, Kaladesh. It is Filigree Familiar. Look at this amazing. This card is such a beauty to play. I've had the opportunity to play it in pre-releases where I had a pretty good control deck, so it's a little bit harder to tell you how good the card is when you play it, mostly when you win. And I played also in like a limited deck against people that I was mostly winning against, and I was kind of the controlling player. But man, like 3 mana, drop you 2/2, gain life, draw a card. This is just beautiful. And I had 2 of this guy. You feel like you have infinite life and infinite card. It's so good. It just makes you think of all the good stuff, you know, Track Tusk, and God damn it, my brain. I have it. Solemn Simulacrum. Yes, good stuff. So back to our card. Our card is what it is. The only thing that I could see is if I was like crazy, well, not really. I was trying to compare this to Baleful Strix, which is a 1/1 flying Death Touch. You are the only one to draw a card, and it costs 2. But Baleful Strix is busted, like just properly busted. This guy doesn't Death Touch. It is bigger though, and the draw card is how do you say, symmetrical, but I don't think that justifies for a 2/2 fly for 2. I'm gonna have a quick check though, just in case, and we're gonna get a quick look at black blue 2/2 flyers for 2, if that exists. I'm wondering if the Siren, I'm just gonna do 2 power flying CMC 2 power 2 black and blue, go. Downside on this one, flying only when you have something, flying Death Touch, Tide Hollow Strix. Yeah, because the thing is, 2/2 flying for 2 are quite good. I think some colors might get them in 2 color. I'm looking at you, Simic. But oh, look at that. Ours still has an upside. This is a 2/2 flying for 2 with an upside. Oh, I forgot how sweet that little guy was. Look at that, 2/2 flying for 2 upside. Yeah, so we're not gonna go there. It's worth checking though, just to be sure. Power creep is a thing. I wouldn't have surprised if I just realized that, you know, the Sirens from Theros were 2/2 for 2. Though now that I think of it, they had very good abilities, so he would have been actually pretty busted. So you know, 2/2 flyer for 3, weird upside. It doesn't have to be fantastic. It might actually not be. There is a chance that this would be imaginable 2/3, but like I said, since you get to decide if players have more cards which in a control deck should be good, and if the player discard a card, in which a situation when you did decide that should mean that you're gonna get a very nice upside, or at least you won't get no downside for yourself. Maybe you're hellbent already. All those things considered, I think, I mean, as usual, I'm almost tempted to push it, because I think that would make it an excellent limited card, and as a 2/2, it's gonna make a serviceable limited card, which, you know, both are good things. Recently I've been saying I love to be pushing the envelope, but a little less, quite a bit less in terms of limited cards, obviously. And sometimes I'm looking at a design and I'm thinking, well, it might be a little underpowered, and if I do that thing I'm thinking of, it might be a little overpowered. In that case, I absolutely want to push the envelope, in which I don't know, you know, if one is too bad, the other one's too good, I'm going to go for the too good. This one, I don't think is in danger of being too bad. I think at the very least it's going to be fine. I mean, it's a 2/2 flyer for 3, so you can't really go that wrong with that. I guess the only downside is potentially sometimes you don't want to pick either of those. Sometimes you don't want to give a card to your opponent and you cannot afford to discard a card. That would be the worst. That being said, when you cannot afford to discard a card, it should be more or less okay to get you in a better situation, because when you cannot discard a card, it's not good at all. It's good for you to draw cards. Your opponent will get something, but it shouldn't be on average that much worse than it is for you. So it should never be that terrible to be forced to pick something. Now, I almost wanted to create more of those designs, but for one, this gives me more work, and for two, I don't think it would be as easy. I was trying to think of something along the lines of when the creature enters the battlefield, choose one, put a +1% counter on target creature and opponent control and target creature you control, or target creature you and the opponent controls gets -- something. It is bad for many reasons. For one, you can play around it too easily, and I guess it's the same for draw and discard, but still, like if your opponent doesn't have a creature, then you pick the +1 counters, and in which case you get the counter they don't, which could be considered just working around the ability, but I don't know, kind of feels like cheating, unfair, maybe yes, maybe not. Same for -1/-1. Well, okay, let's just make one for giggles, because I want to see it now. It just became too interesting. So I think Golgari would be good for that, and which is kind of sweet because they're all black creatures, which is kind of fun. And I want something like this. When enters the battlefield, and the wording might be what kills the card. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control and target creature you don't control, and target creature you control and target creature you don't control each get -1/-1 until end of turn. And what I would do is I would do a 2/1 so that you are when I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh wow, that's a 3/2 for 2, but you give a +2 to an opponent, +1 to an opponent, so it's not like, it's not ridiculous. What I don't want is create a creature that can give itself the -1/-1 too easily and just nothing happens. Now with 3/2 for 2, that gives a +1 to your opponent if they have a creature. That's not too powerful. The fact that you can choose exactly what you want is pretty cool. Is this even a good card? I mean, it's maybe not. You cannot do anything too busted. You can what you say? There would be the possibility, but that's kind of too wordy to just throwing a death touch in there. I guess it's not that wordy. This is that version of the creature is definitely quite pushed. That being said, -1/-1 is kind of a utility thing. Like sometimes it's sweet, like you can actually pick something off, but it's not a removal. It's 1/-1 thrown in there, which can definitely be good, especially in some formats, but it's not crazy good. If you don't have one of your creatures to give -1/-2, and you can only give -1 to an opponent by killing your 2-drop, that is quite terrible. But you would decide to put a +1 counter instead. But you would still need to give your opponent a +1, in which case you would have a 3/2 Death Touch that is just almost as good as a 1/1 Death Touch, and you had to put a +1 somewhere on your opponent, which potentially would be a problem. So I think it's interesting. It does make me want to play the card and try and make it work. I don't know that it's good. Mostly because it forces you to do weird stuff. That being said, worst case scenario, or common scenario, if you would turn out that the card is not so great, what could happen is you would have a 2/1 Death Touch for 2, and you couldn't really figure out where to put your +1 counters. So instead, you would give -1 to one of your creatures, -1 to one of their creatures, and none of them die, and that's the end of the story. That could also be a thing. And it's either that, or I could have tempted to do something like this: 3 4 4 3 1. That's pretty bad, right? It's pretty bad. 3 4 3 1 is just lame, especially in 2 colors. Now, yeah, I don't think it's a cop-out, because I think the card could exist that way, but I really don't want to be nerfing it in such a way. Yeah, little bonus card, little bonus card. Possibly not the best of the cycle, definitely not the most elegant, but I think it's kind of cool food for thought, though. Be able to kind of riff a bit on the theme. And just for giggles, the color that we left out is red, Rakdos, black and red. Don't really think I can, on the top of my head, figure out what the black and red symmetrical effect could be, and that's fine, because we don't have to, because we don't have all night. If you do figure it out, let me know. I would be very interested. So that's gonna be it. I did shoot myself in the foot, and I will have 3 cards to wrap up today, but you know, such is life. Hope you enjoyed. It's been fun. I quite like it. In all fairness, I'm a little OCD, and I do think like this card is that much less elegant that if it takes me a little too long to figure out the flavor for it and the illustration, I might skip it, because the 2 previous ones are so tight that I might just stick to them. Gain 2 life, lose 2 life on a 3/4/3, and everybody draws or discard on a 2/2 flyer. So nice, so simple. So yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed, I will see you next week for a new episode live. I'll see you tomorrow when I post the article on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. YouTube is for the video, obviously. And I don't know, I probably missed one, but do come check it out on Reddit. Custom Magic is the subreddit. I will be there. Do tell me what you think. Like and subscribe. You know, if you feel like it, that's cool. You'll get notification, and I'll get to know that you like what I do. And if you don't, well, you should let me know and tell me why. That is all. Happy Tuesday, probably happy Wednesday, happy whenever you look at this video. I'll see you next time. Play responsibly.